Welcome to the deep dive. Headlines love to paint housing markets with one big, simple brushstroke. But when we dig into Rocklin, California, looking at the real data from July and August 2025,
Yeah,
well, it tells a different story. We're seeing this surprising balance emerge, a really crucial shift, I think, for anyone thinking about buying or selling there right now.
absolutely. And that's our mission today, really. To unpack what's actually happening on the ground for you. We want to give you a clear view of the key trends, what buyers and sellers are genuinely feeling, and maybe what to expect next. And this isn't guesswork. It's all coming straight from recent MLS data, market reports. Basically, a snapshot of the last 30, maybe up to 90 days.
Okay, so you mentioned this shift, this move towards balance. Let's unpack that. What are the raw numbers telling us?
Well, it's pretty clear in the data. The Rockland market seems to be taking a breath, We've
Yeah.
definitely moved away from that total seller's frenzy we had. It feels much more balanced now. Take inventory, for instance. Supply is way up. We're talking about 175 active single-family listings around mid-August. That's a significant jump, maybe 35–40% higher than this time last year.
Wow, that's quite an increase.
It is. And look at this. In the last 30 days alone, 57 new homes hit the market, but only 44 actually sold. So more coming on than going off. That changes things fundamentally for buyers. It's less of a mad scramble, more actual
Right,
choice.
more breathing room. And what about prices? Are they finally calming down a bit?
They've largely leveled out, yeah.
Yeah.
The median sale price, let's see, for homes sold in the past month was around $735,000. July was slightly higher, about $752,500 median. Year over year, it's basically flat to maybe slightly up, like 0 to 3%. So definitely a plateau. It feels like a market recalibration.
A recalibration, I like that term. And it's not just prices, right? Homes are taking longer to sell too.
Exactly. The average days on market, or DOM, is now sitting around 45 to 50 days for the homes that recently sold, which is, a big change from maybe 25 days just a year ago.
So almost double the time on market, on average.
Pretty much. Think about that. Buyers have closer to 2 months now to consider, compared to maybe 2 weeks last year. Although, I should add, homes priced right and in good shape can still move faster. The median time to go pending was about 23 days in late July. That's the time from listing to getting an accepted offer.
Okay, so speed still happens for the right property.
Yeah.
What about getting the asking price?
Sellers are still doing pretty well there, actually. The list-to-sale price ratio is hovering right around 99 to 100%. But, and this is important, that doesn't mean zero negotiation. We saw about 43% of sales back in June close below the list price, so buyers definitely have more wiggle room than they did before.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting then. With all these shifts happening, what does this actually mean for people trying to buy or sell in Rockland today?
Good question. For buyers, it's clearly a better picture in some ways. More inventory means more choice, less pressure to decide instantly. You've got a bit more power to negotiate, especially if a home seems overpriced or it's been sitting for a while. Now, interest rates are still a factor, obviously. They've been kind of bouncing around the mid 6% range for a 30-year fix in 2025. Forecasts suggest they might stabilize around 6.0 to 6.5% by year end. Still higher than the pandemic lows, but stable-ish.
So more choice, some negotiation power, but financing costs are still up there.
Right. And my advice for buyers, you can breathe a little, but don't get complacent on the really good ones. A home in a great location, turnkey condition, totally move-in ready or with unique features, those will still get snapped up fast. Be ready to act on those.
Makes sense. And flipping the coin, what about sellers? What's the biggest pitfall for them in this kind of market?
Oh, easily unrealistic pricing. That's the number one mistake right now. You absolutely have to price competitively from day one. Overpriced homes, they just sit and sit. The days of expecting multiple offers way over asking, they're mostly behind us. Sellers need to be ready to negotiate, maybe even offer some concessions like helping with buyer closing costs or fixing small things.
So preparation and realistic expectations are key.
Vitally important. Make sure the home shows its best clean, maybe staged, any needed updates done. That helps it stand out. And remember, Rocklin isn't just one monolithic market. Some specific neighborhoods or certain price points might still lean a bit more towards sellers, others towards buyers. Those micro trends matter.
Okay, looking ahead then, what's the crystal ball say for the next, say, 3 months in Rockland? Are we sticking with this equilibrium?
Yeah, the general consensus among experts points towards continued stabilization. Think steady, not volatile. We don't expect prices to suddenly shoot up or drop off dramatically, maybe some minor seasonal dips or bumps, but mostly stable. And a big reason for that is Rocklin itself, right? The strong schools, the lifestyle, the amenities. These things consistently draw buyers. We still see people moving in, maybe from the Bay Area or elsewhere. That demand provides a solid floor under the market.
So that underlying desirability prevents a big downturn.
Exactly. Expect homes to keep taking around that 40-50 days on average to sell. We'll likely see the usual seasonal patterns too. Maybe a little bump in new listings in early fall, then things usually taper off as we head into late fall and winter.
So it sounds like the big takeaway is Rocklin's market isn't crashing, it's just maturing,
Yeah.
finding a more sustainable pace. And in this new phase, success isn't about just being fast, it's about being smart, using the right data, having a realistic strategy.
That sums it up perfectly. It's a more manageable market, but you need an informed approach.
Thanks for tuning in to Time to Buy or Sell. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Rocklin or just want help navigating today's market, we're here when you need us. Visit wrsphe.com or call 916-619-1971 to connect with Weichert Realtors, Sierra Pacific Group.